Fine, good afternoon to you all students. Hi students, how are you? I hope you all are fine and you all are doing well. So warm greetings to you all students. Welcome to our today's online class. So now we are studying about chapter 13, isn't it? So what are things you are studying? So what's the title of our chapter? So Python and CSV files, isn't it? So in this chapter you are studying more detailed about CSV. What do you mean by CSV? Comma separated values. Okay. So before I am going to start about today's portion, so just recall what are things I have taught at the last class. Okay. So last class I have studied about modes, Python modes, isn't it? So last class you have studied about opening of a CSV file in Excel, how you need to open a CSV file in Excel, then how you need to create a new file, then what are the modes are there to open your file. What are the modes you have studied? Read mode, write mode, text mode, binary mode, etc. etc. Isn't it? So today we are going to study about reader function. Okay. So yesterday just I taught there are two ways on there to read a CSV file. Isn't it? What are the two methods? Reader and a reader function. Isn't it? So first one is a reader function. Okay. So if you need to read the contents of the CSV file. Okay. If you need to read the contents of the CSV file means you should use CSV reader method. Okay. So in this chapter we are going to study the programs in detail. Okay. CSV program. Okay. This CSV program is somewhat different from compared to other program. Okay. So if you need to read some file by using the program means which function you should use? You should use CSV reader function. Okay. So what's the use of CSV reader function? CSV reader function is mainly used to read the contents from the CSV file. Okay. And also this function, what's the main thing means? So this function is mainly designed to take, first it will read each line. Okay. So how many lines you are giving? So all the lines it will read. It will read all the lines first. And next it will make the each line as a list of columns. Understood? First it will make all the lines. First it will read each line. How many lines are there? Based on that it will read each line. Okay. Then it will make each line as a list of columns. Understood? What's the use of reader function? Mainly used to read the contents from the CSV file. Next, it will read each line and next it will make the line as a list of columns. Understood? Next, first it will read each line and next it will make each line as a list of column. Then which column you need to modify, that column you need to choose. Understood? Which column you need to modify, that column you need to choose. And in that column, if you need to read or using any modifications you need, if you need to code the column or comma or anything, modifications you need to do means you can do. Understood? Okay. So and also you can read, what are the things you can read from the reader function means, so some delimiters like quotes, pipe, symbol, commas, everything can read from the using reader function. Understood? So what's the use of reader function? Reader function is mainly used to read the contents from the CSV file. Mainly this function is mainly designed to make each line. First it will read each line, then next it will make each line as a list of columns. Okay, then it will choose all the column. How many columns you need? Based on your wish, you need to choose all the columns, and in that columns, what are the modifications you need to do? That column you can read. Okay, and also using this reader function, also read some symbols like quotes, double quotes, pipe and commas. Understood? Okay. So, syntax of the reader function. Okay. So, what's the syntax of the reader function? What's the name of the reader function? CSV dot reader of. Okay. So this is the syntax. Listen carefully. CSV dot reader of file object comma delimiter comma FMT params. One time read it. So what's the syntax? CSV reader of file object comma delimiter comma FMT params. Okay. So what's the meaning of file object mean? So first, file object refers to from which path you are choosing the file or from which location you are reading the file. Maybe sometimes you store the file in desktop or sometimes inside the folder or sometimes in D drive or E drive or F drive, anything. Okay. So passes the path. File object first it will passes the path or location. Next, the mode of the file, in which mode you are opening. Okay, read mode, write mode or append mode or any mode. Which mode you are going to open the file. Understood what I mean by file object? File object passes the path in from where you are going to open the file. Next thing, from which location and which mode. Read mode, write mode or any mode you can open. That represented by using which object? File object. Understood? Next thing is delimiter. So this delimiter is not a compulsory one. It's an optional. Okay. So delimiter means it is an optional parameter. Okay. So here in this delimiter some standard symbols will be there. Okay. Maybe commas or double quotes or pipe symbol or single quotes or anything. So like this kind of symbols are there, means you can able to omit. Okay. You can able to omit using which one? Delimiter. Okay, so that one we are calling as dialects. What do you mean by dialects? So standard symbols. What are the symbols? Commas, quotes, pipe symbol. This and all, this symbols and all you can able to eliminate or omit by using this delimiter. Understood? Next one is FMT params. Okay, so this FMT params also a optional parameter. If you need means include, otherwise leave it. So this FMT params is mainly used to remove some default values. Okay, so what are the default values? Means some initial space or quotes, some tab spaces, this kind of spaces and all deleted by using which one? FMT params. Understood? So three things you have studied. What are the three things? In the syntax, well, one time read the syntax of CSV reader function. CSV dot reader of file object comma delimiter comma FMT params. Okay. What do you mean by file object represents? From which location you are opening the file. Delimiter means it's optional parameter. So it will represent the standard, the commas or pipe symbol. This kind of things you can omit it by using which one? Delimiter. Then FMT params means that also optional parameter. Then some default values. Maybe some spaces, tabs, this and all can be omitted. Understood? Okay. So if they ask for what do you mean by CSV reader function, means you should write the definition, then syntax, then explain the syntax each times. Very, very important question. Okay. Listen. Then in CSV reader function, there are 4 things are there. Okay. How many things are there in CSV reader function? 4. Okay. First one is CSV file with default delimiter comma. Okay, what's the first thing? This is very, very important. Okay, important 5 mark question. First thing is CSV file data with default delimiter comma. Okay, next one is CSV file data with space at the beginning. Okay, what's the second thing? CSV file data with space at the beginning. Third one is CSV file data with quotes. First one is delimiter comma, second one is space at the beginning, third one is with quotes, fourth one is with custom delimiters. Okay, so CSV reader function, how many files are there? How many reader things are there? 4. What are they? CSV file default, the CSV file data with default delimiter comma, then CSV file default delimiter, space at the beginning, then data with quotes, then data with custom delimiters. Understood? Okay. So next we are going to study about each topic in detail. Okay. First one is CSV file with default delimiter comma. Okay. First, what's the first one? CSV file with default delimiter, comma. Okay, so now we are going to see one sample program, okay, with default delimiter, comma. Okay, so in this output you are going to display each element row by row with each fields are separated using commas. Understood? This is the CSV program. Just listen carefully. Okay. Those things are given inside this hash symbol. That and all, no need to study. That is only for your understanding purpose. Okay. So this program is almost the same for all the headings. Only one or two lines will differ. Okay. So if you study this one program means you can able to write all the things. So listen carefully. First line is import CSV. Understood? So C++ program and all you will write now what's the first line. So if C++ program first line you should write header file, isn't it? Likewise here you should import CSV like a header file. So first line you need to write as a import CSV. Understood? Import CSV. Next thing, listen. First you have imported. So like a header file you have imported. Next thing you need to open a file. Okay. So for opening, listen carefully. This thing. With open off. Okay. So I am telling, if you study this program thorough, you can able to write all the programs. Okay. So what's the second step? First you need to import the file. Import CSV. Second one is open the file. So this is the general format with open off. Okay. With open off. Listen. So you should specify the path from which location you are going to open a file. So already you have stored a file in some location, isn't it? So from which location that file you are going to open. Okay. So normally all these CSV or Python files will stored inside the folder pyprg. Default, it will store inside the folder that is inside the Python. Okay. So that Python is located inside C drive. So from where? Inside C drive. pyprg, then sample1.csv, that's the file name. From where you are opening? Listen carefully. C drive, inside the folder pyprg, inside the file name sample1.csv. Understood? Which mode you are opening? Or that is read mode. Understood? Which mode you are opening? Read mode. As F, that is a file object. So this one you should study. Just understand and study. Okay. So first thing you need to import a file. So import CSV. Next thing you are going to open a file. So with open up from which location? C pyprg, that is Python programming. The name of the file sample1.csv, in which mode? Read mode. As F, that is a file object. Understood? Understood? Okay. Next, so first itself I said no, inside this hash symbol no need to study, that for your understanding. Next one is you are going to read the file. First step, first line over, import over. So you have imported. Next line, you have opened the file. Next, you are going to read the file. Okay, you are going to read the file. For reading, this is the format. Reader equal to the header file csv.readerof. So what's the reader function? What's the reader function? csv.readerof, isn't it? So what's the file object here? F. So you should call the file object as F. Understood? Reader equal to csv.readerof F. Understood? Understood? csv.readerof F. Next you are going to print each things in by a row. So print row of. Understood? You are going to print each data or each field as a row. Okay. Next, last thing, you need to close the file. So what's the file object? This file, f.closeoff. Understood the program? Understood? So first thing is you are going to import the file. So import CSV. Next thing, you are going to open a file. So with open of, from which location you are going to open that location as file object F. Then, so to read a file, you are giving readerof function. Okay, reader equal to csv.readerof that file object F. Next, you are going to print each things in a or each data row by row. So print of row. Understood? Then last step you are going to close. This is the file. See the output. That means this in this sample1.cv is a file like this. Okay. So see. So all the things are arranged in a row by row with separated using commas. Understood? That's a CSV file with default delimiter comma. Understood? Likewise, they will ask for 5 marks each heading. CSV delimiter with comma, CSV delimiter with double quotes, CSV delimiter with space. This is all very very important. So only I am explaining again and again. Understood? Okay. Next thing, listen. CSV files data with spaces at the beginning. Okay. Next we are going to write a program to eliminate the space at the beginning. Okay. You are going to write a program to eliminate space at the beginning. Okay. So consider this is the example. Okay. So this is the example. See here some spaces are there at the beginning. Isn't it? So in between some spaces. One example. Likewise some. But here and the things are starting at the end. But here in first some spaces are there. You are going to eliminate the spaces at the beginning. For that you are going to write the program. Understood? Okay. And listen. Same thing. So only I said only 2 or 3 lines you should remember. That's all. Okay. So listen. First what's the first step? You should import the CSV file. So import CSV. Next listen. So if in this program you are going to eliminate the space in the beginning. For that you are going to import a new line. Okay. This line is common for all the things. Next, to eliminate a space, to eliminate comma, to eliminate double quotes, to eliminate pipe symbol. This line is common. So now itself you should study. Okay. Listen. CSV dot register of dialect. Okay. You should study CSV dot register of dialect. Inside my dialect. Then delimiter equal to comma. Skip initial space equal to true. Listen, I am explaining. Okay. So what's the meaning of this one means? Okay. This program is you are going to eliminate a space at the beginning. Okay. For that you need to register. That only we are studied as a dialects. Commas, commas, quotes, pipe symbol, double quotes, single quotes. This and all we are calling as a dialect. For that first you should register. Okay, for that first you should register. Okay. So listen. CSV dot register of dialect. Understood? Then you should call this my dialect. Okay. So what's the meaning of my dialect means? From which file you have opened one file. No, that file which dialect need to read. Either maybe space or comma or quotes or pipe symbol. That's the use of my dialect. Then comma. Delimiter equal to comma. So all the fields are separated using comma. So you are giving delimiter equal to comma. So in this what's the aim of your program? You are going to skip the spaces at the beginning. So skip initial space equal to true. In this place if you are giving false means the space won't get removed. The space will be there. So if you are giving this true means only the space will get removed. Default this skip initial space will be false. But if you need to remove the space you should give as a true. Understand this line? First line you are imported a file CSV file. Next line you are registered. Okay, you have registered a file CSV registered dialect. Then so you are registered. Then you need to call the file which dialect need to remember. That is my dialect. Then delimiter, each field is separated by comma. Then skip initial space equal to true. So you have skip the space at the beginning. Understand? Okay. Second line over. What's the third line? Already you have studied, no, same. So you need to open a file. So F equal to open of the same folder. CPYPRG. So here you need to give the file name. So which file name you are giving? Sample 2. Okay, name of the file. What file you need to open? That file, sample 2. In which mode? That's also important. Which mode? Read mode. Okay. Next you are going to read the file. To read the file, which function? Reader of. Reader equal to CSV reader of F. Already you have studied. But here one more thing you need to include. Dialect equal to my dialect. Why means here you are going to skip the spaces. Here you are going to skip the spaces. That is registered under which one? My dialect. So you should call dialect equal to my dialect. Understood? Next the same thing. So each one you are going to print in a row. So for row in reader. Okay. For each row you need to read. So each row you should read the file data. Next, what are the things you are reading? That one you should print. So print of row. Next thing, you are going to close the file. F dot close up. Understood? Once more, first you should import the file using import CSV. Next thing, you are going to register using which one? CSV dot register of dialect. Then, so register you should call the my dialect function, which the dialect you need to remove. Then delimiter, each thing is separated using commas. Then you should remove the spaces at the beginning. So you are giving skip initial space equal to true. Okay. Next, you are going to open a file if equal to open of particular location of the file. In which mode you are opening? Read mode. Understand? Next. Okay, reader equal to reader function. What's the reader function? Reader equal to CSV dot reader of. Reader of the file object. Which object? F. Then already you have given dialect. So you should call dialect equal to my dialect of. Next, you are going to read each row. So for row in reader. Next, you are going to print row by row. So print of row. Next, F dot close off. Understood? See the output. So each field is separated using commas. The initial space, the beginning, some space is there. See? So previous, here some space is there, isn't it? Here one, some space. With example, some space is there. See the next output? There is no space. But each thing, delimiter, comma, each field is separated by commas with quotes. But the space is removed. Understood? So same thing, only explanation they have given. Understood? CSV file with delimiter, comma. Okay. Next is the same program only they have given. Next thing, CSV file data with quotes. Okay. So you are going to remove this double quotes. First thing, CSV, normal CSV file data file with comma. Then first thing, the CSV file data with comma. Next thing, CSV file data with initial spaces at the beginning. Third one is CSV file data with quotes. Okay. So here you are going to remove the quotes. Okay. So like this commas, double quotes, pipe symbol, everything. What are things? So all the things if you are using means you should register there. So register where you have registered? CSV dot register of dialect. The same thing only in the CSV module. Okay. So here they have given some sentences in the notepad. Okay. So all the sentences they have given in double quotes. So you are going to remove this double quotes. Understood? See the program. Okay. The file name is quotes.csv. Okay. That previously I have shown no, that file name is quotes.csv. Now we are going to remove the double quotes from the file. So what's the first step? Import CSV. Then what's the next step? CSV dot register of same thing only. Okay. Say CSV dot register of dialect. Already you studied no. Then my dialect delimiter comma. Here. So here only some changes. Last program, what change will be there? Last program you are skipping some space. So skip initial space equal to true you have given. But here, so here you are going to remove the quotes. Isn't it? So for that you are giving quoting equal to CSV dot quote all. Understand? So because the sentence they have given in quotes, so now you are going to remove that quotes. So quoting equal to CSV dot quote all. Next, skip initial space is true. That means if initially some space is there means, so skip that space also. Understood? So which one you are including here? CSV quoting equal to CSV dot quote all. That means you are going to remove the quotes. Then you are skipping the initial space. The remaining everything same. Next one you are, what's the next step? You are going to open a file if equal to open of CSV, that one. What's the file name here? Quotes.csv, that file name in read mode. Because reader function no, so in read mode. Then you need to call reader function. So reader equal to CSV dot reader of file object. If this place you are using dialect means immediately you should call this one. Dialect equal to my dialect of. Understood? Then for row in reader, each row you are going to print. Then for that for loop, that means loop one by one you are going to print. Then print row. Then f dot close off. Here one line is missing. You should write, okay, f dot close off. Understood? See the output. So here they have given the sentences 1 comma in each sentences they have given in double quotes. But here see. So 1 then comma, that double quotes is removed. Only single quote already. All the things are they are given in single quote. Here double quotes is removed. Understood? Okay. Next one is CSV files with custom delimiters. Okay. So what are the custom delimiters? Pipe symbol. Okay. Some symbols will come under custom delimiters. Okay. So here also this kind of custom delimiters, some symbol. Here also if you need to remove this kind of symbols means you should register under which one? Same one. Register of dialect. Understood? For that one example program you are going to study same only. The name of the program is sample4.csv. Okay. Here we are going to separate each column with pipe symbol. Okay. So here each column is separated using pipe symbol. You are going to remove that pipe symbol. Okay. So if you have seen means you can see first column. One have you seen this light violet color line? That's a pipe symbol. Okay. See. Here on pipe symbol, here on pipe symbol. So now you are going to remove this pipe symbol. Understood? Listen. For that, the same program. Import, what's the first step? Import CSV. So first you have imported CSV. Then what's the second step? Register CSV dot. So pipe symbol or single quotes, double quotes or anything. So all the, if anything is there means you should register under dialect. So CSV dot register of dialect. So what's the next thing? My dialect. Okay. So here no need to skip initial space, the quotes, that and all, no need. You are going to skip only the delimiter pipe symbol. So only that's enough. Okay. So which delimiter you are going to skip? Pipe symbol. So delimiter equal to the symbol pipe. So what's the name of the symbol? Pipe. Understood? Understood? The way of writing the program is common for all the reader function. Only this line alone you will get change. Changes are there in only the second line. Maybe some more quotes or double quotes or pipe symbol or anything. Okay. So CSV dot register dialect, my dialect of delimiter with a symbol pipe symbol. You are going to remove with a symbol pipe symbol. Okay. Then common. What's the next line with open off? You are going to open. Open from which, what's the file name? Sample 4. So in the location C, PYPRG sample 4.csv. In which mode you are opening? Read mode. Understood? For reading which one? The reader equal to CSV reader of. Then file object. What's the file object? F. Then so dialect is there means immediately you should call the dialect. Dialect equal to my dialect of. And then next common. Each row you need to call and you should print the 0. Then f dot close off. Only changes in which line? Only the second line with which symbol? Pipe symbol. Understand? See the output. See the output. Roll number, name, city. See here whether the symbol is pipe symbol is there. No. The pipe symbol will get removed. Understand? Okay. So this is important. One more question. Please mark it. Delimiter pipe. This pipe is considered as a column separator. In your book underline it. So pipe symbol. Why we are using the pipe symbol? Pipe symbol is used for a column separator. Okay. Okay. Next one is read a specific column in a file. Next, from the file we are going to read only a specific column. Maybe one column or two column or only one column you are going to read. Okay. So read a specific column in a file. Okay. So here one example they have given. From the example you are going to call only. So here there are three things are there. What are things in item, name and profit. You are going to call only a one column. Okay. You are going to call only one column. Okay. Okay. For that, what's the first thing? First you should import a file. Okay. So import CSV. What's the first line? Import CSV. Okay. Common. Next one. Next, what's the next step? So here no need to give my dialect. Here no need to give this quotes, skip initial space, that and all, no need. You are opening a specific column. So that line, leave it. Okay. So here, next, what's the second line? Normal. Open a file. So F equal to open of that same. See, what's the name of the file? Here we are going to open sample 13 or the sample 5.csv. This file you are going to open in read mode. Okay. Next, here already otherwise you are giving reader equal to csv.reader. So here instead of you are giving read file. Same meaning only. Okay. Or same meaning, reading the file with the help of this one. So read file equal to which one? csv.reader of file object. This file object you are going to read. Next, here only some difference. So you are going to print only a selected column or some specific column. You are going to print some specific column. Okay, for that, listen. For column in read file, what file you have read from that file column. Understood? For column in read file, that means from the reading file, already you have read one file, no? That read file particular column. So, which column you need to print? Print of column 0, column 3. That's in a matrix form. 0, 3. That's the space. Okay? 0, 3. Then F dot close. Understood? So, first the same thing only. First you are importing the file. Next you are opening. Next you are reading the file. Next you are going to read the file from the column. Next you are printing only one column. Column 0 of 3. Next you are closing the file. Understood? See here. This is column 0. This is column 1. This is column 2. This is column 3. So in your program, what you are doing? Column 0 of 3. So what are the columns? This is column 0. Then this is column 3. So column 0 as well as column 3 will get printed. Remaining things won't get printed. Understood? So see the output. So item name and profit. Only these two columns alone get printed. Okay. Okay, up to enough. So what are the things you have studied today? What are things you have studied? CSV reader function. What are the things? CSV reader with quotes. Then CSV reader with comma. Then CSV with spaces. CSV with pipe symbol. Then column. These 5 headings are very, very important. You can expect sometimes they will ask separate heading as a 3 marks. Sometimes altogether they will ask 5 mark question as a reader function. Very, very important. So after completion of this session, you should study these 5 headings and you should study and write in your notebook. Okay. So thank you students. Remain you can continue in the next class. Thank you.